Hey everybody, we're Workforce Gaming. I'm Doug, along with Brad.
Hey, everybody.
And for the past few weeks, we have been kind of talking about the big conferences coming up and what we're excited to see. Uh, we've been talking about EA, Ubisoft, Microsoft, Sony, and Bethesda. So now we're going to talk about a little bit about Nintendo. And I think the best way to frame this is because neither of us have a Switch. I think that the big thing that how we want to see Nintendo do an E3 is what does Nintendo need to do to sell us on a Switch? Because I feel like I'm kind of on the border. Like I feel like I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I've been on the
yeah.
border for a bit here.
Yeah. So okay. So I guess I'll pose the question to you, Brad. Like, what do you see? What do you want to see from Nintendo's E3 that would get you to buy a Switch? Because I think at this point they've actually talked pretty heavily about all their major games. Splatoon 2 and Arms both actually had like they've talked about those games a lot, like a half hour
Yeah,
long Nintendo Direct just for those games. So so yeah, so I mean, well, yeah. So so you've seen Arms, you've seen Splatoon. Breath of the Wild is amazing. Regardless, I don't care. I don't know who wouldn't be excited to actually play that game. So what do you need to see from Nintendo, just like more to kind of push you over the edge then?
and I think we talked about this a little bit too with the original Switch release. Is it's Nintendo's going month by month, and I think
Mhm.
at this point it's that matter of, for me, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I think that's my thing with E3 is I think
Mhm.
E3 is gonna give me that date of when I'm buying a Switch. Because we
Okay.
know we've seen Arms, we've seen Splatoon 2. I'm a huge fan of Splatoon. It was one of my favorite games a couple of years ago. I put dozens of hours in that game. It's amazing.
Mhm.
But that's not enough to get me there. So I think what I'm really looking forward to is seeing more of Mario.
Yeah.
How crazy did they go with Mario? And I think especially coming off of now having Zelda been released, hearing people talk about Zelda and how crazy that game is
Yeah.
and how that fulfilled a lot of people's like Zelda dreams. I'm curious to see where Mario goes next. I'm actually assuming that a good chunk of their E3 Direct is going to be dedicated to Mario. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
shocked if they kind of do similar to last year where Zelda was essentially the whole thing. I don't think they can't go that route this year because they need to sell more Switches, and
Yeah.
I think the people who bought on purely on that Nintendo nostalgia, they're already there. I
Yeah.
think what they need to do this year is convince the people like you and me who the only reason we're not there yet is because we don't want to justify a $300 Zelda and Mario machine.
Yeah. 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 Exactly.
So I think they're going to spend a chunk of time there, but I think to me what I need to see is just more.
Yeah.
I want to know that this thing has support. I bought a Wii U early, and I bought a Wii U off of seeing a couple things, hearing a couple things. Oh, there's going to be a Zelda. There's going
Yeah.
to be a new Zelda. There's this new Mario. There's this new whatever. Like, and
Yeah.
and I was on board with that. And I think there's a lot of people who are kind of in that category of like we got burned. We know Nintendo's got a good first year planned.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got a good first 6 9 months. You got your Zelda, your Mario Kart, your Splatoon, your Arms. I think to me it's just that long range outlook for Nintendo of
Mhm.
a year from now, coming into
Yeah.
E3 2018. I'm still going to be excited about games Nintendo has coming. I'm not
Mhm.
going to be sitting here going like, "Oh man, Switch has been on the shelf for a while. Maybe they'll give me another game or two." You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
want to see that Nintendo can keep up this pace of every month or two, even if it is a Wii U port like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I want to see that they have this thing planned out.
Yeah.
That I'm not buying another Wii U that's just gonna sit there and oh yeah, yep, Xenoblade Chronicles is coming in a year. Just you keep that thing sitting there. It makes you dust it every couple months because Xenoblade's coming. Like
Yeah.
I want to see that. You know what? We've got Arms, we've got Splatoon, we've got Mario, we've got Xenoblade actually coming this year, which it probably won't. We've
Yeah.
got
No way.
we've got something Pokemon. We've got whatever Retro's been working on. We've
Yeah.
got a couple other Wii U ports sprinkled in there, whether it's a new or another a remake of Bayonetta, or
Mhm.
it's whatever other Wii U game that's out there that people are dying to play again. So
Yeah.
that's really what I'm looking for to me is just if Nintendo can prove to me here that they have a sustainable strategy, they can get me to E3 2018, which can then get me to E3 2019 with games I'm excited about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
I no, I think yeah, I'm kind of in I'm sort of a different boat with you. I do agree though. I think that that's what they need to do is like kind of just like lay out because like we know basically we know all the games they've announced so far. Like we've talked about them. Like we know what they are. All the games that are coming, we know about them already. So we don't know what's next after that. Like you're saying, what's that kind of like long game. I think that I hate being like a broken record because everybody repeats it like that third party support. I mean, I don't care. I don't really care necessarily about third party support. What I care about is just like I want to see a game from. I want to see just a big game that isn't because okay, sorry, how do I put this? Wii U had like 10 really good games all from Nintendo. I don't think Nintendo's not going to release good games. I think Nintendo announcing cool new Nintendo games is not going to tell me that it's sustainable in the long run. I think if they announce some super cool, it doesn't even have to be third party, but just something that's like not Mario, not Zelda, not this, not that, not those sort of like staple franchises, like a new Splatoon essentially, like or a new
Like so essentially you want another Arms. What's this new IP that you've got cooking in your brains
yeah.
that I haven't seen before? And you probably, knowing you want something different than Arms and Splatoon.
Yeah, I don't want Arms
more
at all.
That.
Yeah, like Arms,
you
but
want
not
more
Arms.
something along the lines of Zelda, Uncharted,
Yeah.
that big single player experience. That's what you
Yeah.
want. And I could see that. I don't think Nintendo has that. I don't think Nintendo has that in them. I
No,
don't.
and I,
But
and yeah.
I think your hope there is going to be second party and those Switch exclusives, which Wii U
Yeah.
had a couple. We had a lot more. If you go back to the Wii, you look at like No More Heroes, you look at that
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of game.
exactly.
And even
Something like that.
and even
Yeah.
the Wii U, you had things like Wonderful 101.
Yeah.
You had Zombie U for a long time. That was one of the better
That's true.
games
Yeah.
there. There's one other big one I'm thinking. Bayonetta 2 essentially was a platinum game that Nintendo just kind of
Yeah,
financed.
exactly. Yeah.
It's those kind of things that I think when people mention third party support, that's what they want.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's going, who Red Dead Redemption 2 on my Switch.
Oh yeah, no, oh no, they cannot make games that I can buy. They cannot advertise the Switch on games I can buy for other consoles.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think that's why when people are saying that we want third party support, really you want more of that second party deal. Like
exactly.
you make this game for ours. And I think almost going into what I was saying where it's like we want that long range plan. I want to know that's there. I want to know that in between Splatoon and Mario, you've got something coming from Platinum. Between then Mario and the next thing, you've got something coming from Suda51 because he mentioned he was doing something with this.
I feel like he announced it there. Like I don't think anybody knew he was actually working on anything. I think he just decided on stage.
His whole team's like,
a game.
oh, the boss is at Nintendo. Did you? Well, we better get to work. We have something with Travis touchdown.
He's like some concept about like a fan game or like some guys like just draw Travis and just put a 3 on him. Just don't worry about it. Don't tell anybody. Just give it to me. We'll put it on the PowerPoint presentation.
2020, here we come.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good thing.
Like the thing that I'm really excited besides like you were saying, like I always think paid exclusives are actually really, really good. I think Sunset Overdrive that is like looks awesome. Quantum Break, pretty freaking cool.
Yep.
I actually do like those paid exclusives because I think that you actually do get a better product. Because there's just too much writing on it because a lot of it's paid and it needs to advertise the console. So I do like those games. And I'm also excited to see the Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey versions of, like they Nintendo basically showed like, hey, we're gonna mix up our franchises. So I want to see Breath of the Wild, whatever the Breath of the Wild version of Kirby is, and not literally Breath of the Wild, but like let's look at Kirby in a different way. Let's look at Kid Icarus another way. Let's look at. I mean, they did that. They actually did do that with the 3DS one. I think that was pretty good. So I want to see the Mario Odyssey of like I said of those franchises. I want to see like here's that classic Nintendo franchise in a new way. I think they played it way too freaking safe with Wii and Wii after Mario Galaxy was just like super safe. That was I don't think you could do Mario in a safer way than what they did.
Yeah, with what they did on the Wii U, which was here's another 2D Mario and here's a 2.5-ish D, the weird whatever 3D Land was, and then here's Paper Mario again, and here's it was just that re-release of old ideas, and I think that is hopefully where the Switch is going to succeed is in going. We've got these classic games that people like. We've got these classic characters that people love. Let's experiment with them. So I think it's an. I don't want to say it's an easy sell for Nintendo, but I think they know what to do.
Yeah,
and I think they're headed down that path with Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. So it's just a matter of going. Whoever's making the decisions, let's keep that person making the decisions instead of falling back into old patterns.
But I hope so. But I feel like the last few Nintendo Directs have been. It is old Nintendo. Like the not the Splatoon Arms one, but the Direct before that was just a normal Nintendo Direct, where it's like 80% of games were just like JRPGs from like like just whatever. Not that's kind of that's saying it too simply, but it's just like a bunch of kind of odd smaller games that have very very niche audiences that
But
aren't
again,
really
I
cool.
think that but to me that's where the Switch is going to live.
Okay,
The
yeah,
Switch is not going to overtake the PS4 as the
no,
console this generation. It's going to live off that big Nintendo, small weird game. And I think
yeah,
those audiences, because Nintendo's kind of done that over the years, have overlapped a lot.
hmm
I think that's where a lot of Nintendo's audience sits, is in the fact of like, we have this weird JRPG, something like I Am Setsuna fits perfectly in my mind to that mold that Nintendo wants, where it's like,
yeah,
this is a game that there's this huge chunk of people, maybe not huge, but there's this chunk of people that want this game.
yeah.
We have that game.
But
And that's, I think, where
the
Nintendo needs to live.
PS4 does too, and Xbox One does too, and that's kind of where I don't. That's where I'm kind of like I don't know what they need to do. That's why I'm kind of like I don't know what they
Yeah.
need to do. Although honestly, if they just said virtual console, you can play every Nintendo game ever on the go. I'll probably get it. I have 20 years of catching up on Nintendo games to do.
Yeah, that'll be the interesting thing as to how they approach that and how they make me rebuy Super Mario RPG for like the third time.
I'll buy it for the first time. I am one of the people who like I had a like I think we talked about before. Like I don't have played a lot of Nintendo games, so like I am excited to explore Nintendo's history. Um,
Yeah,
so they haven't announced anything like that yet, so I don't know.
we'll see where it goes.
So we are Workforce Gaming. If you guys like what you heard, you can follow us on Twitter at Workforce Gaming, or you can subscribe to us on YouTube. We also have a bunch of other leading up to E3 videos you guys can check out. Just check out the playlist. This whatever video this is in, whatever playlist this video is in, and we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.